What's up, guys, and welcome to the weekly Q&A. And look, Molly's back.
Hi.
She's gonna give us our first question.
All right, first question is, Mark McGaha asks, if The Last Jedi democratized the Force, meaning that all people could be Jedi, basically, can anyone be Force sensitive?
I don't really think that The Last Jedi specifically did that. That's kind of how I always viewed the Force. I think it's more about kind of being in tune with oneself, and then, I think that The Phantom Menace may have potentially limited that a little bit to, like, oh, you have to be chosen by the midichlorians or whatever, but I kind of subscribe to the thing that was set up in the Darth Plagueis book, even though it's Legends now, but that the midichlorians are kind of a side effect of Force sensitivity. That's just kind of how I choose to believe it. This is something that I think is up to everyone to decide for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, while I do think that there is a biological component to the Force, as in talent can be passed down like we see in the Skywalker bloodline, I don't think that that's the only way to become Force sensitive or strong in the Force. I think that anyone has the potential if they have the right mindset.
Yeah, I think the direction where they're going with the movies and the books and the comics and all the new characters, basically, it's going towards that direction, that idea of, anyone can have this ability if they try hard enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true to a degree.
Yeah. Michael Sweat wants to know, if Snoke knew where Luke was, would he have used Starkiller Base to go after him first, or the New Republic?
I liked that question. I think that he would have gone after Luke first. I think that he viewed Luke as a much greater threat than he viewed the New Republic. Blowing up the New Republic was just kind of an afterthought almost, that Hux was like, hey, raising my hand, the weapon's ready, we can use it on the New Republic. And they kind of said that after they lost the map. So that's kind of what I think is where Snoke's head was at, that he's like, oh, we gotta find Luke and kill him. If we get rid of him, then hope is lost. So I think that to him, the threat was much greater with Luke. Would he have used Starkiller Base on him? I don't know, because that kind of would have alerted the New Republic to the weapon's presence. So I think he probably would have sent Kylo Ren, a bunch of stormtroopers, just everything they had. I think they probably would have sent it to Luke, but in a more covert way and not in an explosion that the entire galaxy can somehow see.
Yeah. How would he have sent Starkiller Base after Luke at all?
I think they just would have targeted Octo instead of Hosnian Prime.
Okay.
They just would have blown up that entire system to make sure they get Luke, but then the New Republic would have been like, what's going on over there? They would have seen that light. So I think they were probably always going to save Starkiller Base for Hosnian Prime, and they would have done something slightly more subtle for Luke.
I think he would have done both.
Like at the same time?
Like at the same time.
That makes sense.
He was just chilling in his ship when, Hux and everything, Hux had charge of the army, they blew up the New Republic. I think he would have gone after Luke by himself.
Snoke would have?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think he wanted to be on the forefront of anything. I think he just wanted to sit back in his robe and rule.
Well, maybe.
Agree to disagree. We found our thing.
Graham Johnson asks who we think should play Boba Fett in the alleged standalone movie. Tamira Morrison, Daniel Logan, or someone new.
Keep in mind that it's still alleged, not confirmed, but, it sounds likely.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on, first of all, when the movie takes place. I mean, if it's, after Return of the Jedi, obviously it should be Tamira Morrison. If it's before, it should be Daniel Logan. I think they should do whatever's age appropriate. And I do like Daniel Logan is very into the idea of coming back. We got to talk to him at Dragon Con, and he was like, I'd love to do it. So, I do kind of root for him to get a chance. But it also depends on what the story is. I mean, I saw someone throw around the idea that it could follow Cobb Vanth, who, in the Aftermath books, picked up Boba Fett's armor and put it on. So it could just be someone new. I mean, we might not ever see Boba Fett's face in the movie, so they could technically do anyone in there. But
That would be upsetting.
Yeah.
I feel like that would upset a lot of fans if it was just some guy.
Yeah, I do kind of want them to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Like, you've already cast the character twice, basically. So I would be very much on board with them keeping either Morrison or Logan in the role.
Solom wants to know if it could work having Maul appear as a villain in the alleged Kenobi movie.
Yeah, I've seen this idea thrown around often by people who I think haven't seen Star Wars Rebels. I kind of feel like that is the first time they've seen each other in 19 or so years.
Yeah.
I don't think that they need to have had multiple run-ins. It could work potentially. I mean, the thing in Star Wars Rebels is that Maul has to like get this holocron and join it with another holocron, and then he just knows, oh, he's still alive.
Yeah.
We kind of thought that he meant, he survived Order 66, but it could be that they had an encounter after Revenge of the Sith, and he thought that he died again, but why would he still be looking? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's the first time they saw each other. So, no, I wouldn't expect to see Maul in the Kenobi movie.
I don't actually expect to see him on screen anymore at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd be surprised.
I would be surprised if we never saw him again. I mean, depending on, what direction they go because of Solo's box office, but if they were to do like another kind of criminal underworld movie, and I think that his appearance in Solo was kind of like a Marvel style tease of like what's to come, like he's back, but I think that they are teasing at least a hope that he will return on the big screen.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset. I would be surprised. I'd wonder who they'd get to play him, if it would be Ray Park again.
I think they'd stick with Ray Park and Sam Witwer as a combo.
Yeah. All right. Thomas Unger asks how he should prepare for Star Wars Celebration next year.
The one thing I immediately thought of was if you're going to go camp out overnight in the line, last year they said you can't bring anything, like no chairs, like whatever you bring, it has to fit in a backpack. So you could like stuff a pillow in your backpack or something, and that's it.
That's what the website said.
Yeah, so we followed the rules
yeah.
and showed up, and there are people with like inflatable couches and air mattresses everywhere, and we were like, okay, so bring an air mattress if you plan to camp out overnight, because you'll likely be sitting on concrete, otherwise you won't get any sleep.
Or at least a sleeping bag, something.
Yeah, something.
Something.
But that's what I would say.
Pillow fort.
If you want to camp out, bring something comfortable, because apparently they're not going to stop you. Otherwise, I don't know, we didn't really do anything to prep. It was our first one last year, and it was just a blast. I don't know, just get ready to have fun.
I would say wear comfortable shoes. Maybe bring a backpack, because you're going to be walking around and probably buying a lot of toys, maybe pins, books. Also, if you're trying to get anything signed, you're going to need something to put that in. So a backpack would be handy. If you're cosplaying, just be aware of like how hot it's going to be, and just make sure you take breaks.
I guess in Chicago in April, it probably won't be that hot.
It won't be that hot, but
it could be cold, so...
Yeah. Just, if you're cosplaying, make sure to bring a change of clothes, maybe, because you might get tired and want to change out, and you might not want to go all the way back to your hotel room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Those are good tips. That's it for patron questions. If you're a patron and you didn't see your question answered here, just head over to Patreon, where I left you a written response. If you're not a patron, you can learn more by following the link in the description. Just $1 a month will get you access to extra Star Wars Explained content, like audio commentaries for the film, and we just released our commentary for Return of the Jedi, so you can go get access to that right now.
On to YouTube questions. Jayne Mackowski asks how we will review the Disney streaming series when it comes out.
It depends on how they decide to release it. I'm hoping that it's a week-to-week thing, honestly, because that just means more content, and it's a little easier for me to go episode by episode. If they dump it all in one big batch thing, I might review the entire season at once. I don't know. I think that we'll probably definitely binge it all the entire first day.
Yeah.
And then, I'll probably do a review the next day. And then, Easter egg videos the day after that. So I think it all depends on how they release it. My hope is that it's episode by episode.
Mm-hmm.
But if they just do it all in one big binge session, it'll probably be a season review.
We could possibly, if they dump it all on us at once, we could do, an overall review, and then, since not everybody's going to be able to binge watch the entire series, then afterwards we can break it down and go into, a deep dive of each episode.
Yeah. How about you let us know in the comments how you'd prefer to see that happen? Because I don't know what the plan is, and I don't know the best way to cover it.
Flying by the seat of our pants here.
Yep, making it up as I go, as Indiana Jones said.
Battle Up Saber wants to know if Lucasfilm should continue releasing Legends books.
I would be very much okay with that. I think that they could. I don't think that they will. Because right now, all the books that are coming out tend to support the movies. And I have my own thoughts on that I think that they should be doing a series of novels that stand apart. I hope that they start doing something like that because I miss that from the Legends days. I don't know. I just don't see them doing that anytime soon. Maybe down the line. I don't part of me is I don't see why they can't, because I don't think that the people that would be confused by that don't really read the books as much anyway. As long as they had a big old Legends banner slapped on the front of it, I think people could get it. But it's just not something I would expect.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think that it would still confuse people, and maybe cause a little bit of upset. If you're going to start releasing new Legends books, why don't you just canonize the old stuff? And I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. I think there are a lot of issues that would go along with it. Could they do it? Yes. I would be into it. I'd still read them. I'm never going to expect that to happen. I'll be pleasantly surprised and shocked if they do.
Part of me thinks if they were to make more Legends series books, it might be more kids books. Young reader books. Maybe,
because then it would be less, less investment on their part, so they could kind of test the waters with it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
We'll see. Trey Hall asks if Enfys Nest knows Maul is leading Crimson Dawn because some of her weapons seem like good counters to Force-sensitive enemies.
I doubt it. I think that Maul is trying to be very secretive with his role. As far as we knew going into the movie, Dryden Voss was the head of Crimson Dawn, and then we learned that he was just, the public face. And, obviously Kira knew who was really pulling the strings, but I think Maul kind of wants a degree of separation. I think he's probably trying to hide from the Emperor and the Inquisitors. That's how I assume he got an Inquisitor's lightsaber, is because one hunted him down and he fought and killed him and he picked up his lightsaber. And in Star Wars Rebels, we know that he's been hunted by Inquisitors. So I think that he's trying to remain anonymous. So I really doubt Enfys Nest knows who she's going up against.
Yeah, I think she and her gang are pretty well known and as far as the galaxy goes, maybe. So I feel like they know that there's Force-sensitive weapons and people out there, so they just have those weapons.
I think they probably just scavenged them from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't get the impression that they were definitely to counter Force-sensitive people. I think that they just designed cool weapons for the movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of them are kind of non-lethal. I don't think that she was trying to kill Beckett specifically when they were on the train heist. Mm-hmm. She used that sonic thing to knock him away. I think ultimately they just wanted the coaxium. And they were trying to get off peacefully, but then also someone did shoot and kill Rio Durant, so I might be totally off base there.
Zachary Levine wants to know if we could see a Duchess Satine flashback in the alleged Kenobi movie.
If you asked me a month ago, I would have said, no way. There's no way. But now that we've seen Solo, yeah, I think it's very much possible.
I would love to see that.
I would too. I think it would be great. all of this stuff where I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. It's almost always stuff that I would love to see, and I'm just like, no, it'd be too confusing for the casual audience. But now that they did Maul, I'm like, anything is on the table.
Yeah,
I think it's very possible.
Duchess Satine is definitely an even deeper dive
Yeah.
than Maul, because she's never been seen in a movie. But having her in a flashback, for the casual viewer who doesn't know who she is, it could still make sense as a new character.
Yeah, they would just kind of show that Obi-Wan had, like, this kind of long-lost love, the one that got away, or the one that they wanted to be together but decided that they couldn't. Very much, I mean, like Anakin and Padme, but they went a different path.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do think it's possible, and I would love to see it.
And that could also tie in Maul.
That's true. We just said, like, nah, he probably wouldn't show up, but what if it were a flashback to her death? What if they recreated that scene in live action? That'd be insane.
Arthur Wacker asks if we were disappointed that 3PO and R2 were not in Solo, which brings an end to that tradition.
No. I wasn't disappointed at all. Like, I was actively hoping that they wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Because eventually, as we get further and further away from the Skywalker saga, they can't be in those movies. If we're exploring the Old Republic era and it's thousands of years ago, 3PO and R2 can't be there. It wouldn't make sense. So eventually that tradition had to go away. Might as well do it now. And they did still get Anthony Daniels in there, like, just not in a droid suit. So that I'm totally fine with. But, like, to keep putting R2 and 3PO in there, you just gotta stop it at some point.
It's just, like you said, eventually it's not going to make sense. Too much fan service. If you watch Force Center Pod, I don't know if it's out yet when this goes live, but there will be an episode of
counseling.
Yes, counseling, where I talk about some of the Star Wars traditions.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go check out their podcast. That's all the time we have for questions today. If you want to leave a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments below, or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion, and also get access to that Return of the Jedi commentary. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel,
and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. I didn't bring you on this show to disagree with me.